Zwane's application will be heard before the release of the report then?
No, what we know for sure now is that yesterday Msebenzi Zwane's counsel was in court and they indicated that they will wait up until Tuesday. That's the date that has been set down for Msebenzi Zwane's application to be heard. We haven't had any indication as yet whether he is also withdrawing his application for to have this report be kept under lock and key up until he feels that he's been afforded a proper opportunity to respond to some of the questions and the allegations made in the state capture report. What we don't know for certain is whether Msebenzi Zwane is implicated in the state capture report. Remember that with Van Rooyen, it was Thuli Madonsela who indicated on Friday, the last day in office, through her counsel, that there are no findings against Des Van Rooyen. But of course, Des Van Rooyen, after seeing the Sunday Times report, felt that there could be that the report could be implicating him or the report could be mentioning him.
Aldrin, it's Eben again. This is a massive surprise. I'm sure you're quite surprised at the withdrawal. I think the whole of the media fraternity is quite surprised at this withdrawal at this very late stage. The crux of the matter is that the president had a very good chance of getting a positive verdict today because procedurally there were some issues, weren't there?
Well, definitely. If you look at, for instance, the push from the president, you first had that application that was brought just after Thuli Madonsela's term came to an end. The court case was supposed to have been heard, I think, the Tuesday after Thuli Madonsela, after the last day of Thuli Madonsela's time in office. That case wasn't heard. It was then consolidated. The president then made it. Then it was decided that the matter will be heard on the 1st of November. The president then indicated that after hearing that the report of the public protector is a final report, he then indicated that he will be amending his application in court. He wants the court to declare that the report is unlawful because procedurally he feels that the public protector has failed to uphold Section 7(9) of the Public Protectors Act, which allows him an opportunity to cross-examine or to question witnesses which the public protector have used or interviewed during her investigation. The public protector also indicated to President Jacob Zuma during that last week in the office, saying that she looks forward, quote unquote, to the questions that the president wants to pose to the witnesses, and that will be done through her. It should be written questions, and of course we had Feki Mentor, the ANC MP, who also applied to be part of this case, who said that that amounts to intimidation to have President Jacob Zuma and his legal team cross-examining him.
Now, Aldrin, as we speak, I can look at the pictures that's coming live through from Pretoria. There's only some of the legal representatives right there now, and some are in the, I gather, in the chambers with the judge, and it looks like there's some confusion there. What can you tell us about that?
Can you just quickly repeat that, Aldrin?
It looks as if there's some confusion in the courtroom right now because we're seeing live pictures coming through. Some people, some of the legal teams were on their phones calling to find out what's going on. There were some of the legal representatives that seems to be as if they were in the judge's chambers. Is that what's currently happening?
Well, I guess what's probably happening now, considering that considering that we've received now this information through the sources and various media houses, of course, now breaking this news is that the lawyers are now receiving calls from the clients and so forth and determining what the way forward will be. And quite important, I was looking at the social media page or the Twitter timeline of the Commander-in-Chief of the EFF, Julius Malema, who said in that tweet that we'll now be pushing to have this report released immediately. And I guess that's the push now at the moment. The other issue is that you have the Public Protector's Office. Their counsel is represented here. We haven't heard from the Public Protectors yet. If indeed President Jacob Zuma, or immediately after President Jacob Zuma withdraws the application, we'll have to wait and see whether the Public Protector, Mkhwebane, will be amenable to this application by the EFF to have the report released immediately. We could also find a situation where you have Msebenzi Zwane's counsel rushing to court to try and prevent the release of the report, because remember that their application is based on not releasing the report, and the arguments are the same as President Jacob Zuma's arguments in terms of procedurally. Msebenzi Zwane feels that he wasn't afforded enough time to respond to some of the allegations that have been made in the investigation of the public protector. Chief Standard Section 79 notice to Zwane, indicating that, for instance, there are allegations that he facilitated the Waterkloof Air Force Base landing of the Gupta family. Remember, there was a huge one. There was also a case that the public protector, Tuli Madonsela, the previous public protector, investigated. There's also the case around facilitating the acquisition of Glencore by Tegeta, which is a Gupta-owned mining company. It's alleged that Msebenzi Zwane flew all the way to Switzerland to help facilitate that acquisition of Glencore mine. So those are the issues as they stand. We'll have to wait and see what happens now. Quite importantly will be whether this report will be released today. I guess that's the next step for this case.
Now, seeing that we are still waiting for the judge to come through and the legal representation, this case will still continue today then?
Well, definitely, though, the case will continue, considering that now the EFF or the opposition parties, I guess, they will all agree to bring a new application, and that new application will be to have the report released immediately. Obviously, President Jacob Zuma's counsel will be the first counsel to speak. They'll stand up because they are the people who brought the initial application to have the report sealed, to have the report concealed and not be released based on arguments around procedural fairness and so forth and so forth. And then they will then indicate what exactly they've decided on. And I guess the judges have already been told in chambers that this is the decision that the president has taken, that he will not be going forward with this case.
Well, Aldrin, it seems like we see now some of the legal representatives coming back into the courtroom there, and they're filling up. I think they're just waiting for the judge, Eben, to come through as well to continue with the case, as Aldrin just indicated.